So I've just come off a chipping lesson with my dad. He's been really struggling around the greens. It's been really getting him down. He's been thinning them along the ground. He's been fatting them. He's been even shanking them. And his scores have been going up and up and up. Now, probably just like you, he doesn't have loads of time to practice. In fact, he doesn't really want to practice. He generally goes straight on the golf course. So I needed to give him something that he can do in the garden first, okay, to improve his strike. And then one simple thing I actually gave him to take to the golf course. The results have been amazing, and he's so nice to put a beautiful smile on his face. I'm going to bring you in on that live lesson very, very shortly, because I think it could help you, particularly if you've been struggling around the green. Now, before I do get in the lesson, if you're new to the channel, it's one of your first videos of mine, please consider subscribing. I release videos just like this one every single week to try and help you improve your game. Plus, you never have to remember a thing. I'll put everything I talk about in this video into a free downloadable practice guide in the description box below. So my dad began to strike shots just like that on a consistent basis. Now, I didn't plan on filming this session, so I didn't get loads of the footage, but we started off in the garden first to improve the quality of strike. And just like probably 90% of golfers, he was basically making this mistake. He wasn't controlling two things: the low point of his arc and the depth of his arc. What do I mean by that? Well, look at this. Your golf club, just like my dad's, whether it's chipping or your full swing, it is always creating a circle like this, okay? Now, what my dad was doing, he was creating the circle, but this low point of the circle was too far behind the golf ball. Now, this did a couple of things. He would hit the ground way behind, that would be his fat shot. He would then sometimes hit the ground and the club would come up like this and thin the ball along the ground. Okay, he did one other thing, and I'm going to show you when he shanked it in a second. Now, I want your low point to be just ahead of the golf ball. And that one of the easiest things I did with my dad to achieve this was really improve his setup first. I then wanted to make him really, really consistent with his ball striking by changing one in-swing thing, which we took to the golf course, okay? So let me show you what we did. So my dad doesn't practice as much as he used to do, and I needed to give him something that was really, really simple that he could take straight to a golf course. I didn't want to give him a load of checkpoints to work on. So we started off by helping him improve the quality of his strike first, and then we worked on the distance control and kind of like the consistency for the golf course in part two. So the first thing to get the consistency of his strike was basically setup. His setup was really, really bad. His left shoulder was way too high. I see this a lot. He'd been trying to get his weight forward, but in doing so, he pushed his weight forward, and all this did was create even more angle with his shoulders. What this does is it basically sends the low point behind the golf ball. Your right shoulder's too low. You're almost in scoop territory, fat territory here behind the golf ball, hitting up thin territory, and the dreaded shank where my dad was, which was this. He was so far behind the ball that he had to reach for the ball. That pushed the neck to the ball, and he did some shocking shanks. So I knew I couldn't give him loads of things to work on. So how do I, in a sense, get him set up perfectly every time without a load of checkpoints? Well, I needed him, look, to get his hips and his shoulders right stacked on top of one another. I needed his shoulders to be nice and level. How do we do it? With this simple exercise. All I did is got him to set up to the golf ball, okay, and I want you to do the same. It's a real simple exercise. And I got him to move his mass, his torso, over this side of the golf ball here, and then move the club behind. And that was it, okay? That's it. Now the mass is going ahead. Right, now we're talking. Now you play the shot. You follow? That immediately put his body in a place where the low point now would be slightly just after the golf ball. Now, yes, if he really exaggerated it, he would come down too steep and the ball would come off very, very low. If he did that, he could just reduce it slightly, okay? But because he had been so much of it here, this really, really works as a great exercise to steepen his angle of attack and improve the quality of his strike. The other thing that we did, and this was all done in the garden. I'm going to actually bring you in on what we did on the golf course in a second, because there's one final piece of the jigsaw, but we just did this in the garden to instantly improve his strike. I actually used a garden cane. I put it about a club and a little bit more than that, a little bit of a club and a bit distance behind the golf ball. And then all we did from here is get him to kind of, what I like about this is, before, if he's back here, we'd hit the garden cane, but by putting it back there and getting his mass now more over the top of the golf ball, now he could create a slightly better angle of attack into that golf ball. And that low point of the arc look is much, much more where the golf ball could be. It felt a bit strange for him, but immediately the strike was so much better. However, he was still a little bit what I call handsy. Now, when you get very wristy and handsy, sometimes what happens is you are, in a sense, destroying potentially the depth that that arc goes. You imagine here, look, okay? We're creating a circle. Now, if I keep this angle in my right arm here like this, I'm able to control the depth of this arc. I'm able to kind of control how much this club just bruises the ground. But if you get very wristy, suddenly now that club is going into the ground, it's going too deep, and that creates horrible fat shots. So I gave him this simple exercise. I'll bring you on the lesson right now where we did it actually out on the golf course to really improve the consistency. So his right side helped him come through the shot beautifully well, and he didn't get too wristy. This gave him immense amount of consistency. Let's go and check it out.
Now this is my Achilles heel at the moment.
Right.
Is I get to here in one shot, and it can take 3 or 4 more shots to get it in the hole.
Okay.
I'll shank it and then shank it again.
Okay.
So hopefully now with this new stance, it's certainly going to help, hopefully.
What club you got?
I've got my 60 degree.
Okay, so I would say here, right, so a 60 degree is a club that is quite risky to play a lot of the time, right? You know, use it for really emergencies only, right?
Right.
So grab yourself a 56 for now, right?
Okay.
Particularly if you're struggling with your chipping, you don't want to be going to bags and bags aloft, right? So
okay.
56 is more than enough for this type of shot, okay?
Okay, done it, yep.
Now, you've chosen your club, right? Have you chosen the shot you're going to play?
My intention is to go for the flag.
Okay, so if you take 56, so you're going to go for height.
Yeah,
okay.
So I'm going to go for height.
Okay, come on, show me the shot.
Okay.
Yeah. And just do everything we worked on in the garden.
Yeah.
Okay, do that same thing here, yeah?
Yep, okay, done it. Just where I didn't want to go.
So a bit like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So if you look at this here from this angle, even from behind here, right? Look at how your body has completely stopped.
I didn't follow through, that's right.
So if you look at your body here,
yes,
all you've done is your body is completely frozen.
Yeah, I've just gone.
Well, yeah, there's even no movement there. So what you do, your body's just done this. Bang, stop, and then if everything stops, you've only got one thing left.
That's it.
For this?
Yeah.
If you stop, you've only got this.
Yeah.
Right? So what we need to do is we need to get this right side, this whole right side of yours, look, continuing to go through the shot so the right wrist doesn't break down. Because as soon as the brakes come on anywhere here, like if I put a brakes on here, what's going to happen?
Yeah, and a flick.
That gets thrown.
Yeah.
Right? And that's when the fats and thins and all kinds of stuff come on, right?
Yeah.
So what we want to do is get you set up really good there, much better than before, but now I want to continue that right side going through the shot. Right. Okay? And I'm going to give you a little drill for this one actually. This is kind of simple. So I'm going to grab like, just grab a 7-9, watch this, pause there, pause. Just put your foot underneath this for a second.
Oh, okay, done it, yeah.
You put your,
I'll have to.
Yes, yeah. So that's it. Underneath that. Now, what I want you to do now is, so when you've got a lot of weight on this right side, that stays up in the air, right? What I want you to do now, look, is go through the shot, so that's it, so it comes down. Follow? It's a great way of getting that right side through that shot. Keep going, have another practice. And again. Right, good. So what I want you to do now is if you go to the golf ball, you got that feeling?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Yep.
So if we get yourself set again, okay, put that underneath for a second. Okay. You can move the ball around if you like. Move it. There. Is that better? Yeah. Feel comfortable there?
A bit further back.
Further back?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So when you're ready, hang on a second. Okay.
Now that's better.
That's a bit different, isn't it?
Yeah, that was wonderful.
Yeah?
Yeah, just that little movement.
Yeah. Well, because all
here. guides the club through, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
you go. Well, what you want to do is, in order to be consistent, you need the body to help
keep
you with it
moving.
and keep moving. Otherwise, you become wristy and handsy.
Yeah.
So just a little simple exercise like this, it just gives you
Yeah.
feedback
Yeah.
as to are you actually getting through that shot.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yes.
And you imagine that, Dad, how many shots you'll save when
That's right.
you kind of like, you can get up and down like that.
Yeah.
You know, a good chip there, so I get it, a good chip there,
Yeah.
and you've just made
Yeah,
like
that felt so nice having that weight, and just keep moving.
just keep
So,
moving, just
yeah.
keep moving all the
Yeah.
time. And
Yeah.
even on the smallest of chips, obviously on the full swing you move even more, you keep moving, and even the smallest chips, look, we're still moving gently through.
Yes.
But when people start getting smaller and smaller, because they get nervous, they start to,
And
Stay still.
that was me.
Yeah,
That's me.
there you go, that was easy enough, wasn't
Brilliant.
it? So as you can see, chipping doesn't have to be too complicated. Control the depth of the art, control where that low point is, and have a technique that kind of does this on a consistent basis, and do a little bit of practice. And I promise you, you too will start to improve the consistency of your chipping. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, maybe share it with one of your friends who's maybe struggling with that shot. And of course, look, if you want to see a video where we actually talk about pitching, that's like my 30 to 80 yard shot, there is some big differences there. Check this video out right here. And of course, look, if you're new to the channel, press that subscribe button. It's completely free to do so. But until next week, have a wonderful golfing week.